Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is another great day here, and it's another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. Kelly, I always like to, check in every now and then, see what you're doing, what you're reading, what you're learning. Can you tell me what you're currently reading or listening to on? Because I know you like to listen to ebooks and audio stuff. So, what are you currently, taking in right now? What are you learning about? What are you reading?
That's a good question. There's a book I'm listening to that we're rereading, which is Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount. So he's a sales trainer, and what I love about Jeb is that it's not just real estate related. It's about it covers all industries that has to do with sales. Um, Everyone should be that's in sales. I'm asking the team to do this as well. Should reread that book, or read it for the first time because it is awesome. It you probably think by the title, you know exactly what the whole thing is going to be about. It's not. It will change your paradigm as a sales professional when it comes to what you should be doing to grow your business, to help people and things of that nature. So anyways, there's a lot of mindset stuff in there that you just have to get over and that you'll really relate to. So I would highly recommend everyone that book.
Say it again. What was the title?
Fanatical Prospecting.
Fanatical Prospecting. All right, guys, got one to put on your list. Maybe I know Christmas is coming up. Put it on your little wish list. It's a good one. Kelly recommended.
Yes, it is. It is.
Fantastic. Well, we'll jump into it today. I know that we've talked recently a lot about kind of some stuff that's going on in the industry right now. We've talked about, the time of the year, the holidays, really gearing your business up for 2024, or how to handle, the current climate that we're in terms of real estate market. But now we're going to kind of shift back to some basics, things that are always kind of a part of your business that are outside of the climate we're in, the time of year, any of that. This is just some basic, stuff that you should be practicing within your real estate business. And today, specifically, we're going to be talking about your database and how to make a lead earn the right to stay in your database, right? I know that sometimes we have this idea that throw anyone and everyone in there. And for some reasons that could be a good thing, but really kind of narrowing it down, making leads earn the right to stay in your database. So Kelly, tell us about that. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, so we're going to get ultra tactical on this one here because this is very specific. First of all, you should have a lead follow-up plan. Anybody who's in sales for a living, no matter what you're selling, needs to have a lead follow-up plan because we all know that everyone you come in contact with that maybe expresses some interest in buying something, whatever it is you're selling, is not always going to do it right away. And on top of that, no one really loves a pushy salesperson, right? No one really likes that at all. And I know the old saying that time kills deals. I get all that. And there's a lot of truth to that as well. But real estate is not like a candy bar. They're going to buy or sell when they want to, no matter really what you say. So if that's true, which I firmly believe it is, you do need to be working with a multiple amount of prospects. Otherwise, if you just put all your eggs in a basket of one or two people, you might be waiting a while because they might not choose to buy or sell for a year or 5 or 10. And by then you're out of business easily, right? So you have to have a bucket of individuals who are expressing interest as prospects that you work with and you nurture to stay in front of. So first of all, have that plan. What is your plan? Now we on our team have a flow chart. We have a system. It's already done for you. Once you put it in a CRM, you attach a certain tag or label to it and it starts to work. Okay. Now it's not all automated, but it works from an automated standpoint to do some a combination of automated tasks as well as reminders for you as the agent to also do some manual things too, right? So it
There's a
does a little bit of
flow.
everything, but it keeps you on task, right? So
Mhm.
your time is efficiently used. That's the big thing. All right. So what we're talking about today is ensuring the right? That for a lead to stay in your database, you shouldn't just let someone just come in your house, hang out for a little while,
Oh yeah.
because maybe you give them a glass of water or some ketchup, and the
Yep.
next you know, 2 days later, they're still in your house.
Mm-hmm.
No one would treat their house like that. Nobody would.
Mm-mm.
Even your own family are like, hey, listen, after about a week from visiting from Alaska, you got to go, right? Or whatever it is. So why would you treat your database anyway? But we do. We allow people just to linger around in these unknown black holes to our database that they just sit there and there's nowhere to put them. And if we do put them someplace, we forget about them because we have nothing to follow up with, things of that nature. So I'm proposing to you today that whatever your lead follow-up plan is, because we're not going to go over the whole lead conversion part of this podcast. That's not what this is about. That's a whole other podcast we can do. We're gonna go over the specific aspect of qualifying that lead, not converting, qualifying to allow them to stay in your database. Okay, picture an hourglass. You have a very top wide base at the top, and then it squeezes down to the middle, right? And then it comes back out wide again at the base. That's what it should look like. So what we're focusing on today in this podcast is the middle part where the beads of sand are getting squeezed and it's taking a while to get through. But if they come through, they made it to the other side. So that's what we're talking about. Now, we call it the qualified plan. You can call it whatever you want. But we have a bunch of different plans in our lead follow-up system or ecosystem. One of those is the qualified plan. It's the middle squeeze. So here's what it entails. It entails one touch per week for 8 weeks. One touch per week for 8 weeks. Now, I didn't make this up. This came, if you want to know, guys, this came straight from the MREA, the Red Book, the book that's widely known across the industry as arguably still probably the most relevant book when it comes to running a real estate business. Whether you're an individual by yourself or you have a team of agents, it's still a business. So you should run it as such, and you have to run it with systems. So if the research says, which it has, they spent thousands of dollars and hours for doing all the research back in the 2000s, and they found out that because people don't impulse buy in real estate, that they're going to do it when they want. Because that's true, what you have to really do is not grab their business today if they're not ready, especially it's not going to happen. Grab their business in their mind. Okay, you're trying to grab the mind share, the place that they think about when they think about real estate. You're going to plant your flag there and you're going to pay rent to be in that space. Mm-hmm. So when they do think of real estate, they think of you. Mm-hmm. That's the key. And so I tell people all the time, I get this is kind of awkward. I'm calling you out of the blue here today, but by the way, this is someone I know, right? I've talked to at least once before, at least once, if not 100 times.
It's not a cold call. Yeah.
Yeah, not a cold call, not completely out of the blue. And you're like, listen, I know it's a little awkward. I'm calling you because as far as I know, you're not looking to sell or buy a house right now. You're good. You're living in your house. You're doing the thing. Matter of fact, I may have sold your house to you just 2 years ago or whatever. But I'm calling you because I want to see if there could be all kinds of reasons you're making this call, right? Maybe you have a client appreciation event upcoming. Maybe it's 2 years and it's time for capital gains. If you want to sell to get that exemption, not pay taxes on your proceeds, it could be all kinds of reasons. Maybe it's for a charity drive, whatever it is. But you're calling them to let them know you're trying to walk this fine line so that you are top of mind, i.e. for real estate, right? Because that's what you do, if and when they need you, but yet you're not overbearing to where you're annoying and they're annoyed when they see you're calling or texting. So that fine line looks different for everybody. And because it looks different for everybody, I don't think there's any problem. In fact, I encourage everyone, all agents on our team, to flat out tell people that that's what you're trying to do. Tell them, I'm calling today to provide this value, blah, blah, blah. But really, just so you know, I don't want to be, how's the frequency of how I'm calling? Too much? Too little? Well, and that give you some feedback. And then you can adjust from there. For every person, it's going to be different. But what you want to let them know is what you're trying to achieve. And what you're trying to achieve is that you're there for them, even though they may not need you right now, because this is not insurance where you're paying every month. It may have a question or whatever. This is real estate where they might move or buy every 7 years to 10 years.
There's a lot of time in between those transactions.
Yeah. And we know the stats, Elizabeth. We know that according to NAR, right, it's like something like 89 or 88% of people say that they had a good experience with the realtor when they transacted real estate, but yet only like 13% actually use that realtor again. So why is that? Well, it's because most realtors don't stay in touch. And the main reason why is because I guarantee you, they think it's awkward. Mr. and Mrs. Jones don't need to sell. So why am I calling them again?
Especially if they have let time pass in between it, if it wasn't consistent from the beginning, and now they're trying to kind of, I need to stay in touch with these people. It's awkward to pick that phone back up after 2 years, after a year, after 6 months, sometimes even, and make those calls.
Exactly. So to wrap this up, I think it's important that people would want to know, okay, there's no right or wrong answer necessarily, but what are those 8 touches then? Because email is great from a standpoint that people, if they don't want to be bothered, they can see it real quick, maybe see your name and they can just delete or move on, whatever, archive it. A phone call, if they have more free time, is always good and welcome, probably. Text messages for something quick, and then, okay, yep, got it. There's different methods. So it cannot be all email, cannot be all phone calls. It has to be a mixture of multiple things. So what we do is, out of those 8 touches, we have 2 of them be phone calls. That's the manual piece. We have one be a manual email, okay, that we send out, a manual email regarding a relevant topic in today's marketplace, like i.e. interest rates, okay, something about that. And then the fourth of the 8th thing is a letter or item of value. So item of value is going to cost a little money, right? Something that's shelf life, maybe like I don't know, a magnet for a fridge, or something like that, a paper cutter that has your logo on it, whatever.
Calendar.
That someone might actually get use out of, right? A tchotchke, a trinket. But you could also, for a lot cheaper, print off a news article that's something to do with real estate. And then what you do is you print it off and you look at it. You don't have to read the whole article. Okay. But it's relevant to their situation. And you say, hey, George, read this article, thought of you, Kelly. Fold it up, send it. Now, if I got a letter like that from my, I don't know, financial advisor or my dentist or whatever, just saying that, and they knew I was, I don't know, in real estate, or maybe they knew my daughter had to get braces or whatever, and there's something about that, holy cow, I'm never leaving this dental office. Like that's incredible. So because it's so unique. So what if you did that? And what if it was something that was something you didn't have to think about, because it's in a CRM and it's a system that just comes up. Oh, got to do that. Boom. That's for the 4 manual. The other 4 staggered throughout are automated. 2 automated text, or maybe 3, 1 video text, and then a automated email. So those go out. So you're not manually having to do all 8, but you are paying attention because you want to know if they're going to reply to anything that you do. Whether it's good, bad, doesn't matter. Just some sort of response is good, because then you're building rapport. Hopefully, if it's good, right? You're building rapport. If it is building rapport, then when it comes out of that qualified plan, where to put it next. And we're not going to cover all that right now. We can do another podcast on that in the future, or you can see the one we did in the past on lead follow-up and lead conversion. But that's how you know. And if they didn't reply to anything in 8 weeks, even though you thought you had great rapport, even though you thought that first phone call, oh man, I love Arizona Cardinals football. So do you. You have season tickets. So what section you said? 44. I sit in section 44. Oh my goodness, they love me. They're going to use me whenever they choose to buy or sell. No, they won't. Matter of fact, 1 month from now, if you try calling them out of the blue, they probably won't even remember who you are, right? If you waited the whole month, or 2, especially. So the key is to build that rapport. And if you don't, then that's okay. Then they go into a different bucket, because you want to focus on your 20%, the people that you did build rapport with. And those people will love you for it. And that's how you provide more value to your clients. So anyways, that's that for the qualified plan, what we call that. And that's how you really squeeze everybody that you don't know heading into it, right? These aren't your people that you are good friends with. These are cold people that you made a contact with. That's how you know that they can now stay in your database, and exactly which bucket they come into or go into once they come out of being squeezed in that hourglass.
So Kelly, when you take them out, so no responses, no anything, are you deleting them from the database? Are you archiving them? Just kind of where is that bucket when it's out? Or like, what do you do with that?
Yeah. So there's 5 options once they come out of this. There's 5 options. For us, 3 of them are time specific. If they give some sort of time frame, then it's one of those 3. Okay. And then if they don't, then it's 2 options over here. And it's either they go into your SOI because you built a ton of rapport, but they have no time frame to do anything. They go in here and there's a plan for that. If they never reply or reply negatively towards you in those 8 weeks, like get lost, what are you doing, whatever, then they go into the archive. The archive is basically our pond. And now what one person's trash, another person's treasure, right? So now it's open season for any other agent on the team to be calling those people, because you never know. Maybe that person was having a bad day and they really do want to transact real estate, or they're thinking about it. And so the next agent calls them, or maybe they just want to work with a woman, not a man. Who knows? People have all kinds of weird issues, right? and the woman happens to call, there's an agent on our team, and he's like, yep, let's do this. Let's go find a house, whatever. Right. So that's why we keep it so we don't
Got
waste.
it. So it's not,
quote unquote.
you're not, even if they're not coming through that and through that qualified squeeze and they're coming into one of those measured buckets, essentially, you're not just completely trashing it. You're still kind of leaving it up for grabs, still putting it there, but on the side, sort of.
Yeah, I will say this: trash is really only an option on the first phone call, but it can still be an option because we would think, and usually this is how it works. If they're just not absolutely belligerent towards us in the first phone call, they probably won't be that way again, right?
Yep.
So really, it's not. But I don't know that it's ever happened. It probably has to some agent I just don't know about. But yeah, if they on a second phone call are like, mother, go fly a kite, pounds it, whatever, right? Then okay, well,
they
right.
still have the right to be moved to trash.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. We will trash you. I don't want to deal with you. Life's too short.
Yes. Got it. Okay, well, fantastic. That like I said, guys, we're kind of getting back to some basics here. This is really a system that you need to have in your business at all times, like something like this. And those might look a little bit different for you, like what exactly those 8 touches are, or even like if it is 8 touches in, your time frames might look a little bit different. This is what Kelly uses. This is what you said. It came directly from the
The
real
red book.
estate
Yeah.
experts. So pretty
A
much what
lot
you
of
should be
experts.
following. But yeah, you need to have some sort of plan so that you're not wasting your time with all of these people, right? That's kind of what it comes down to, is find the people that you want to spend your time on, spend your energy on. Otherwise, you're just chasing, kind of chasing the
Fairy
clouds there.
tales.
Yep, fairy tales, exactly. So fantastic. If you have any questions on this, like Kelly said, we have some different podcasts that we've done on, conversion and everything like that. Go back, find them, listen to them. I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But if you have any questions about this or any of those other topics or any other topic we've talked about here, Kelly, where can they reach you?
Yeah, always social at Kelly Cook Homes on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me there. That'd be fantastic. DM me or just text or call 480-227-2028.
And as always, guys, please go to buildyourrealestateteam.com. That URL is so easy. I don't know how I just messed it up. Buildyourrealestateteam.com. And we have a module there for you, kind of breaking down how you would go about building your real estate team from the very first hire. So go check that out if that is something that is on your mind, or if you've already, you're already in the stages of it, go back to see what you can maybe switch around, or where to go going forward now as you continue to build your team. And we will be back next week with another episode for you guys. See you, Kelly.
Love it. Elizabeth.